I got told yesterday on Threads that no producer should ever be selling their beats for $5,000 or more unless they're Metro Boomin or Pierre Bourne. And I informed that guy, shout out to him. It's not that serious. I informed him that I've made $30,000 for a beat once. But of course, when I say I've made $30,000 for a single beat, there are a lot of questions, a lot of challenges. So let me explain how I made $30,000 off of this beat. I'm going to do it as quickly as possible. So what happened was I produced and recorded a song for an artist by the name of Ted Park. He's from my city. He came over to my house. He wanted an intro. So we worked on an intro. He was writing it. It became super catchy. We were trying to record it at our engineer's house, but his house got struck by lightning. So I ended up having to record it, vocal produce it, everything. Because otherwise, if we didn't record it right away, he was going to forget all the melodies. So we just drop it. No investment in marketing, no rollout really. It gets picked up by the Fresh Finds playlist, I want to say. Either that or like New Music Friday, and blows up 100,000 streams pretty quickly on Spotify alone. And then it ends up charting on Billboard's top 10 viral charts. So we had a bunch of labels reaching out to us because labels want to snatch something up if it's making money, because what they want to do is they want to take it, buy it, and make even more money off of it. And the deal that we ended up going with, just a single deal, was with, and coincidentally, I was in Europe. I was touring Europe with Soul when this happened. We signed with Capitol Records UMG, which is based in France. They offered us 25,000 euros, which at the time in 2017 was worth 29,773 United States dollars. So I rounded up. It wasn't exactly $30,000. And a lot of people were saying, okay, well, you probably got screwed on the points. There's no way you got a good deal with that type of money. It was actually a pretty good deal, and I'll show you something that was really important. It actually was a licensing deal with a 10-year term, a 10-year exclusivity period. So that's all outlined here. And what ended up happening was they funded the music video, which included travel and all this other stuff. So basically, not only was that $30,000 recouped against our future royalties, but also all this extra stuff, all these extra expenses, the music video, etc. So we knew on the sound recording copyright side that was probably going to be the only check we were going to see. I have a Spotify plaque for that record. It was our first single ever together that broke 1 million streams. And it makes sense because the song already had momentum. So this was an artist that I had locked in with. It's not an artist that bought a beat online. Now, mind you, this was 2017 when this went down, and I had pretty much just started selling beats online around this time. Selling beats online changed my life. When this song dropped, when we signed this deal with Capitol, I didn't have a house. I didn't have a car. Now I do. $30,000 didn't hurt, but mostly because of selling beats online. So does that water things down? Well, Image Got Beats says this: I never understood the online beat thing. You need to get with the artist and build a sound with the artist. I feel like putting beats online is a waste. Just my opinion. I'm working with an artist now and it's going good. We slowly building together. Hey, best of luck. The beat haters say, yeah, producers should just link up with artists and go. Linking up with an artist or many artists could lead to something one day, just as you did in the beginning, sir. The genuine connection to artists is lost. Get back to only making music with people you know to avoid bad business practices. The point being made is it's a higher probability a producer with no relationship to an artist is to be done wrong. Now, the counter narrative to all this comes from Adam Friedman. Shout out to Adam Friedman. He says, for every producer who locked in with a small artist and built from the ground up, there's another story of an artist ghosting the producer he or she used to work with. There's no loyalty in this game. Don't let people gaslight you. People are gaslighting the shit out of me, telling me I need to stop selling beats online and lock in with an artist, telling me to delete my BeatStars right now, lock in with an artist, telling me what to do with my career right now. So let me tell you what they're not saying, because either they don't want you to know this as a producer or they don't know it themselves. And you can look up these stats all over the internet. According to the 2023 year-end music report from Luminate, who measures music consumption via tracking sales, streams, downloads, audience impressions, and airplay, 158.6 million tracks fell short of the 1,000 mark, 86.4% of the 184 million tracks measured. Now, all these stats and numbers make my head spin, but if the vast majority of songs aren't even reaching the 1,000 streams mark, for them to cross that threshold into actually making any sort of money, which is to say very little money, let's talk higher numbers. I'm going to call it 1 million streams. And according to ChatGPT, based on source material that they found via the Spotify community, only about 1.2% of the total 100 million songs on Spotify have reached that million stream or above mark. And 1 million streams is only somewhere around $4,000 generated. And you have to figure, if you're a producer and you produce that track and you're getting 50% of the total streaming revenue. Congratulations, you just made around $2,000. Can't live on that. And then furthermore, according to Rolling Stone, data show that 90% of streams go to the top 1% of artists, so the Taylor Swifts and the Drakes. So the odds that an artist out of nowhere, an unsigned artist that you know, from the bottom 99% of artists on the platform will break 1 million streams is really dismal. And since a producer isn't making a living wage off of a song with 1 million streams anyway, that kind of makes you even more, I'm sorry I'm sounding harsh, that kind of makes you even more of a sucker if you think this is your path to financial stability. And if the artist is doing well, then they're making money in other ways, which is fine. Good for them. They're making money off of shows. They might get signed to a major and get an advance. They might be charging for features. They might be getting paid for brand partnerships. And guess what you get from that? Nothing, 0%. You're not entitled to any of that. You're only entitled to your own intellectual property, which is your beats and the songs that come from those beats. But the good news is the odds of getting struck by lightning are about 1 in a million with a 90% survival rate. So if the problem is deciding between selling beats online or locking in with an artist, what is my solution? Bitch, do both. You are a being of unlimited potential. Sell your beats and also lock in with artists that you believe in, knowing what the risks are, know the risks, and knowing that you will make mistakes, you will make the wrong decisions, you will choose the wrong artist, and that's fine, that's life, you'll learn from it. But I would never tell you to put all your eggs into one basket. Now, I feel like I have a great ear for talent, as any decent producer should. But watch this video that Producer Grind just dropped that features June the Genius, who's a producer for everyone from Travis Scott and Drake to Lotto. Check it out.
Don't ever get caught up in a nigga potential. Where you believe in a nigga more than he believes in himself.
Oh God, bro.
Don't never get caught up in that. The nigga gotta really eat, breathe, and shit this shit. Like, it gotta be in him. Like, he don't need to be caught up. I had an artist like, I wanna be on World Star. I wanna be a World Star. Like, bro, fuck World Star. Like, there's so much other shit we need to be focused on and doing. I ain't verified yet. Like, nigga, fuck that. We gonna get there. Like, focus on making this good ass music and building up a following.
So June the Genius was speaking to my soul. Out of all the artists that I've locked in with, many succeeded in making music, which kind of shows me that I do have a decent ear. They went from zero to making a living off of music full time. I'm talking about artists that didn't make a full-time living and didn't have a huge fan base before I started working one-on-one with them in person. And out of all the tens of artists that I locked in with and worked with face-to-face in person, investing a bunch of my time, blood, sweat, and tears into, one didn't cross me. And I'll say his name, Ted Park. That's why I started the video talking about how that mutual investment that we made in each other working together did pay off eventually. The other artists, however, they stole from me, sabotaged my career, literally forced me into quitting a radio career, stopped working with me when they felt like they were getting too big, didn't like me having input in their careers. And I considered all of these artists close friends. One in particular was like my brother. People thought we were blood, honestly. He got on drugs, fucked over a lot of people, robbed a lot of people, fled the state. I had to deal with the fallout. Another artist that I knew for years that I was on tour with, that I was sleeping on couches with, she didn't pay me a single royalty for producing the majority of music. All of her, I'm living with my parents. I don't have any money. She's in another state with her own house and her own car. Then had the nerve to hire another DJ that cost even more than I did to tour with them when they told me that they didn't have enough money to bring me along tour and they weren't paying me for my beats to begin with. But aside from working with Ted Park, yes, I work directly with artists to this day. Generally, I work with artists who are already established and who have something to bring to the table, like Soul, for example. He has a way longer career than I did, so I think he brought more to the table than I did. But you can work closely with artists and still get paid. There's a way to do that. And honestly, back when I was working with artists and getting stabbed in the back, had I just been selling beats online that whole time, I would have had way more options. I would have had way more confidence in myself and my ability to walk away from a toxic situation. I never would have entertained the type of disrespect I got from these artists, and I would have had more money. I would have actually been making a living independently of whatever these other artists were doing. When producers get stabbed in the back, most of them don't survive. They give up, they quit. So don't let some random user with a bunch of letters and numbers in their name convince you to stop selling beats and lock in with an artist because they saw Zaytoven do it with Gucci Mane. They always bring them up. You are not as talented as either of them. You are not as driven as either of them. If someone brought me a Gucci Mane right now, would I lock in with them? Yes, of course, because their reputation would precede them. Their work ethic would be evident. Of course I'm working with that person. June the Genius just said, a lot of us are so emotional, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what makes our music good. But a lot of us are very emotionally invested in these artists because they're talented, and talent doesn't amount to work ethic. There are far more talented people than there are driven people. Call me a terrible person for saying that I would rather work with a driven artist who can improve over time because they're driven than a naturally talented artist who's lazy. Now, the benefits to selling beats online, you get paid. That's a big deal. Then you don't need a day job. You can focus on your music. You can focus on improving. You can focus on building your brand up. That's huge. And when you sell a beat to a label, you could wait up to a year or more to even get the advance. If the song starts generating royalties, you might not get another check because the label is still recouping costs, and they're sneaky about that stuff. And if you are generating revenue either from mechanicals, from performance royalties, or from the sound recording royalties, you have to wait months for those payments to come through. And guess what doesn't wait? Your bills. Another benefit that I don't think people understand of selling beats online is that today's artists going online to buy beats are tomorrow's superstars. How many artists made their first hit songs with beats they got online? I know you can name a couple off the top of your head right now, from A$AP Rocky to Lil Nas X. Now, the drawbacks of selling beats online, I would say, are one, it's super time consuming. I mean, you're running a small business. You're not just somebody sitting in a room making beats all day and having fun. You are running a small business, and you have to do everything that comes with that, which is incredibly cumbersome. It's a lot of work, and that's not for everybody. It's tough. I'd rather be making beats than filling out my tax diary, and one thing I have to do is submit an annual report for my LLC. There's just a lot that comes with that, and it can cost some money too if you're going to go a certain route once you've built your infrastructure and you want to advertise via these paid platforms like Meta or Google Ads. And then the other drawback is maybe you never get a big hit doing this, but all I want you to take away from this is that you don't have to choose. You can do a lot. You can try different things. You don't have to make a decision. When someone goes on the internet and says, trust me, all you got to do is lock in with an artist. That's the fastest way. That's the best way to have a long-lasting career, make a bunch of money. Just look at this person and that person. Just take some ibuprofen, get off the internet for a little while, make some beats, and spend all that time that you would have freaking out about what some dumbass said on the internet, actually reading some articles about business, marketing, the music business, how to make money. If that's your goal, if you just want to fuck around and make music and keep a day job, or you're a trust fund kid, good for you, just do that. But for those of you who want to make money doing this because you love doing it, and what's better than making a living off of what you love, then I would encourage you to, again, try many things. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, and learn as much as you can. Spend that time learning, spend that time seeking out information, spend that time in a productive way, because time is an investment. And if you invest time into yourself, that's as good, if not better, than investing money into yourself. So much success to you, whether you're locked in with an artist or you're selling beats online or both. I can't tell you what to do. All I'm telling you is to not listen to other people when they tell you what to do, which I guess is me telling you what to do, which makes me a hypocrite. So I'll be deleting this video now.